Welcome to the exciting new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
I'm Dana.
And I'm Dan.
Welcome aboard, Dan.
Thank you.
Let's see, we've got to keep it like we're on a ship.
Captain
Put on our hats.
That's 4.
We haven't worn them in a while. We're talking Revenge of the Nerds this week. Rated R, running time 1 hour, 30 minutes. Released July 20th, 1984. Directed by Jeff Kanew. 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 I didn't know him from anything because he had nerds in his top 4. The other top 4 was all writing credits.
Anything that we know?
Eddie Macon's Run, Natural Enemies, and the one you may have heard of, Ordinary People.
Oh, okay.
I'd like one Best Picture or something like that.
Yeah.
This was a tight hour and a half. There was no fat.
It happens fast. Everything's quick. There's no extra.
Yeah. There could have been some extra. If they
had at least 10 minutes they could have
there's
put
other
in to make it
stuff they
an hour
could have
40,
done.
yeah.
But
a little more with the UN, maybe. Yeah,
maybe the Olympics or whatever, the Greek Olympics. That was,
more with the Mars javelin.
the least aerodynamic looking javelin on the planet.
Yeah.
But apparently his Limberstone throwing style.
The Internet Movie Database description. At Adams College, a group of bullied outcasts and misfits resolve to fight back for their peace and self-respect.
Okay. I always had a problem with like Booger being considered a nerd. I'm like, no nerd that I know acts like him. So I guess when you say that
Yeah,
misfits,
he wouldn't have been
just like an outcast.
Yeah.
when you say misfits and outcasts, then he fits into that group. But I was always like, he's not a nerd. He had a "Give Me Head Till I'm Dead" T-shirt on half the time.
Also, if you want to talk real quick, Curtis Armstrong was 31.
Oh, wow.
He looked old
during this movie.
He looked
like
31
70,
years
right?
old.
He looked old though.
A couple taglines I had here. They've been laughed at, picked on, and put down, but now it's time for the odd to get even. Their time has come. A little too long. And then the time has come for Revenge of the Nerds. Let the battle begin.
It was funny when I was going to look up this movie and I just typed in revenge. There are a lot of movies, the revenge of.
The Sith.
The Sith, The Fallen's a Transformers movie.
Revenge of the Fallen. That's right,
there was a lot of like revenge movies out there. I was like, damn.
There's that show, Revenge.
Yes, that was a good show.
There's a movie called Revenge, just Revenge.
I was just surprised. I was like, who would have known that? Because then Michelle's like, why don't you just put in nerds? I'm like, oh, much better. There's much less movies.
That's one of the games I like that they play on Doug Love's movies right now, where he says a word, like, and they'll say like the words war,
yeah,
and he puts the word war in there, and then he gives the top like 10 or 12 things that are listed, and you have to guess them. Like number 1 is 12 points.
wow.
Yeah,
it's fun. Like, so then like Civil War, you say, and then that was like 4th or whatever, and you get those points. But that's a fun game, yeah.
That's cool.
But here comes our cast, starting off with Robert Carradine playing Louis Skolnick. Andy, do the laugh.
Nice. Robert Carradine?
Yes, Robert Carradine. He was
David
30.
Carradine's kid?
He was 30 in this. So he's playing a young one.
No, they're brothers.
David Carradine's brother. And what about
his
Keith
brother?
Carradine? Keith Carradine's his
Keith
brother
Carradine. Yeah, I believe they were all...
Because Keith Carradine is what's-her-face's dad. Parenthood, Dayton Keanu, Martha Plimpton or whatever.
Oh, really?
Keith Carradine's
hit
her dad.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
Somehow she's a Carradine.
Martha Plimpton?
Yeah. Somehow she's in the Carradine
I know
thing.
she's Nepo. She's in that
Nepo
whole,
baby?
Yeah, Nepo baby or whatever. But you want to try Robert Carradine's top 4?
I couldn't think of anything else he was in.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Nerds is in there, yeah.
Nerds in Paradise.
No other nerd movie was in there. This
So
was
he
the only
did a
nerd
game
movie.
show about nerds.
Did he
Remember
really?
that? Yeah, he did a game show a couple of years ago.
I don't remember that, I don't think. But
I
the
don't know.
Lizzie McGuire movie,
I'm sure Dan's watched that
No, I
recently.
have not seen that one.
Escape from L.A.,
Oh,
He was in
really?
that?
Wow.
and Ghosts of Mars.
Really?
I don't know what that one is.
I haven't seen those.
Gilbert Lowe was played by Anthony Edwards, the least funny of all the nerds. If
Well,
you
that's why they
ask
made
me.
him president at the end of the Greek Council.
Revenge of the Nerds is in his top 4. Can you get any of the
Probably.
others? What's
ER.
that? ER. How many episodes of ER
Ugh,
was
I never
Anthony
watched
Edwards
ER.
on?
I never saw it.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I
Doesn't matter. We're still going to play the
150?
game.
Wait, so how many was he on, or how many?
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
That was a long time. I'm gonna say like
I was
200
10
episodes.
years.
Seasons it at?
You said what? 200? You said what?
I'll say 150.
150, and how many are you
I'm
gonna say?
going like 70.
He was in 180
Wow.
of 331.
331.
That's how many episodes there were
Damn.
total, yeah. 331.
Because that was one of those. I mean, that's what broke George Clooney too, and then they had to have a whole new cast because
Yeah.
all those guys, the original people
Yeah,
left,
that's right.
so they had to bring new people in. But yeah, I never watched it.
No.
I don't like doctor shows. House is the only doctor show I've ever watched.
Yeah, me too.
I don't watch
I
hospital
agree.
shows either.
You got two
Or
movies
I hate
left.
hospital shows.
Well, he
Same
was
Top Gun?
Goose and Top Gun.
Top Gun
Gun.
made it, yep. And then I don't think you're going to get the other movie, Zodiac.
Oh, he was in that?
Was he the
Yeah.
Zodiac killer?
Isn't that the one with Jake Gyllenhaal? Or
Yeah, David Fincher movie?
Maybe.
I think he was in that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Up next, playing Arnold Poindexter, Timothy Busfield.
That was great.
I know he was in
great.
30 something because I remember when that show came out.
Oh,
And again,
really?
I never saw that show.
How many
but-
episodes of 30-something
Oh,
was
Jesus.
Timothy Busfield in? Because that's in his top 4.
That was on for at least 5
Yeah, I'm gonna
seasons.
say like
I feel
150 episodes.
150?
I'll go 100.
100?
I'm going low again, 80.
85 and then 86
Wow.
total
Oh, that's it, huh?
episodes. Yeah, he missed
Oh,
one
it only had
episode, yeah.
86.
I remember when that show came out, and that was like later 80s, like 88 or something like that. And I remember they were advertising it as like Arnold Poindexter movie. I'm like, is that really what you're
Nerds is-
grasping
Nerds
for?
is in his top 4 as well, and then you got a TV show and then a movie.
Really? I don't feel like I've ever seen. Although I do sometimes. Well, before I knew the guy from Billions better. Know who I'm talking about?
Is that Paul Giamatti?
Yes, I thought they looked exactly the same.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Timothy Busfield and Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
I don't know anything else he was in.
Field of Dreams was the movie,
was
Oh.
and then he was in The West Wing. He did 28 of 155 episodes in The West Wing.
So like a whole season, probably.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Playing Harold Wormser was Andrew Cassis.
Now, I saw the second Revenge of the Nerds. That was
I
Nerds
did
of
too.
Paradise, and I
Yeah.
don't think Wormser's in that, but I don't think it's the same actor. I think they
Which
got
one
Well,
is
you're
he?
incorrect because
Is
he's
he-
in Nerds.
Oh, he's in
Nerds
Nerds.
in Paradise.
Well, you know what?
He's the real young one.
He's probably also the one that grew up
Oh, he
the
was the
most.
kid.
because-
He's the
Yes.
redhead.
Okay.
Yeah, the little kid.
He grew up the most because he was obviously
Yeah, he
younger
was
than
12
everybody.
when this was-
He was only 12.
Oh, wow.
Damn. Okay, and he was playing a 14-year-old, so they actually aged him up.
Which makes that scene really weird when he goes to that house and
Yeah.
that lady's hitting on him, little 12-year-old.
Oh, that was so creepy.
Nerds and Nerds 2 were in his top 4. TV 101 was a TV show. And then Law and Order Criminal Intent, I think it was like one episode. But
It was a very special episode.
Yeah, that kid couldn't get enough of the television when they were
yeah.
watching the
I wonder what they
Pies.
were really
yeah.
showing him.
Yeah, especially if he's only 12.
Yeah.
Jesus.
do you know what Booger's real name was? His name was in this? It's Curtis Armstrong, but this is his name.
Dudley
Douglas?
Dawson or something?
Dudley Dawson.
Dawson.
Dudley Booger Dawson.
Call me Booger.
Let's try Booger's top 4. He's got one of them
Supernatural?
is Revenge of the Nerds. That did not make it.
Really?
In there, yeah,
He
but
was
that,
in a
was he
lot
in
of
there a lot of
stuff.
episodes?
Yeah.
Better Off Dead.
Better Off Dead, yeah.
Better Off
I
Dead
love
makes
Better
it
Off
in there.
Dead.
Yeah.
One Crazy
That's so
Summer.
good.
That's next year.
Yeah.
One Crazy Summer?
That didn't make it in
I
there.
love
but good
One Crazy
movie.
Summer,
Yeah.
too.
How about Moonlighting? He was on that for a while.
Did not
he?
make it in there. It's a movie we did recently.
Oh, Risky Business.
Risky Business. Very
He's in
good.
that.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I remembered him, and this is, speaking about Dan with his daughter, when the boys were younger, he was on an episode of iCarly, and it was so funny because all of a
Really?
sudden, I'm like, it's Booger! And the kids are like, what? He's like an 80-year-old man.
Yeah.
He was probably like 50.
I'm surprised
something
American
like at
Dad
the
didn't
time.
make it because he's in
Oh,
like
that's
almost
right. He's
every
the
one of those,
kid's
right? Yeah.
Snot.
Yeah.
Which is funny that they
Because
cast
he called
him
him
Snot. Yeah.
Southland Tales is the other. I think
Man,
that's
I
a
totally
TV
forgot
show,
that it
right?
was Snot. Yeah, that's great.
Snot. Yeah.
Southland Tales? Yeah, that sounds like a show that I've never seen.
Lamar Luttrell playing Larry B. Scott.
He was
Larry
in
B.
something
Scott.
we did already,
We just
right?
did something recently.
Yes.
He
Oh,
did- yeah.
yes. He
He was
in
in the background. Karate Kid.
Blade
There it is. He's a Cobra Kai karate kid.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
was he
a
really?
Cobra Kai.
Karate Kid, that's right. Was he in Blade Runner also? But somebody was in
I
Blade.
don't think he was in
Not
that.
Blade Runner. The helicopter movie.
Oh, Blue
Blue
Thunder.
Blue Thunder. Someone was in Blue
I don't think
Thunder.
he was
I
in
remember
that.
there was like a person in that for one scene, and I guess not
Pull
him.
it up. You got to pull it up.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look that up.
You got to
now.
go into the archive there. But Nerds and Nerds 2, Nerds in Paradise are both in his top 4, along with the Karate Kid. The only other thing you may have seen it, Fear of a Black Hat.
Oh my God!
I
Great
saw that.
movie. Yeah. That's like a Spinal Tap for
Yeah.
rap music.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, good one.
Playing Toshiro Takashi, Brian Kachi.
It was Gustav Fring was in Blue Thunder for a scene. That's what it was.
Oh, really?
That's who I was thinking of. Yeah. So anyway, go on.
Brian Tachi. We're doing right now.
What was he in?
His
Revenge of the Nerds is in there.
now is he like what's his face from 16 Candles? Was he American?
That was Getty Watanabe.
But he was
16 Candles.
born in America.
I believe he
and
was,
played,
yes.
like
California or something.
Was his
So,
name like Brian?
It sounds like he would be, yeah, but you never know.
But he was in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Oh, he's
and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
The
2
one from
Leonardo
the
Night of the Ooze.
The older
yeah,
one.
he's Leonardo's voice. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I remember
from
that,
the movie from the 90s,
Yeah,
the
Corey
original
when
one.
Corey Feldman was Raphael,
Yeah.
he was Leonardo.
Corey
Yeah.
Feldman was Raphael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Oh, yeah. The only other thing you may remember him from Police Academy 3.
That's
Acting
right. That's
training.
right.
Isn't
He
that-
was in Police Academy. Yeah, he was in some of the later ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's funny. Yeah, because he had the same kind of thing where the big blonde girl. Like I remember her smashing
yeah.
him into like
Yeah.
into between her boobs, like because she's so much taller than
Leslie
him. He was just
Eastbrook.
Like, yes.
Nice.
Julia Montgomery playing Betty Childs.
Betty Childs.
I didn't recognize her from anything.
Me either.
She did 88 of 4,818 episodes of One Life to Live.
I was going to say it has to be a soap opera if it's
That's a
that
lot.
many.
4,000 episodes. She
Yeah, she did 88 of them, so that's probably like a month.
Yeah, probably.
nice.
It's a 3-month arc she's got there.
Do you ever think when they're writing the 4,000th episode, they're like, "Have we done this plot before?" Like someone
No,
checked
they
and-
don't, because
gotta have it
I can tell you
They
from
don't- they
watching
don't
soap
check.
operas, they don't check.
Or is it after every 5 years they can recycle it? How
Yeah.
often can they recycle it? You know?
A lot more often
We
than
were
I
actually
think.
talking about you yesterday when we were driving. Do you still watch?
We stopped watching it during COVID.
Okay, that's
but
weird
the
that you
funny
stopped
thing
watching
is,
during COVID.
Tara once in a while will be like, because she has it on, I guess, Facebook. She's like, "Oh my God, guess what they're doing now?" Or "Guess who's back
And
alive?"
General Hospital.
Yeah,
General Hospital.
and they're always they'll bring the same people back. They'll bring them back from the dead. They'll have you playing Jason, but you're wearing a Jason mask, but you're a foot taller than Jason is, and no one can tell the difference. They do shit like that all the time.
That's
I'm sure I've told the story already, but the summer of 1979, I was in a cast and I was stuck watching The Guiding Light with my mom for like the whole summer because we only had one TV in the house.
Yeah.
So my mom's like, at 3 o'clock, I gotta watch Guiding Light. You can have the TV the rest of the time, but I'm watching Guiding Light.
Yeah.
And now, 45 years later, my mom will still every once in a while be like, "Oh my God, Steven died." I'm like, "Steven who?" She's like, "Remember Steven from Guiding Light?" I'm like, "Christ, Mom." I'm like, "I watched it like 45 years ago."
Does
for
she
like
still
2
watch
months." No, I don't think that one's even
gonna say.
going anymore. But
Wow.
it was just so funny. She like talked about these people like they were friends of mine. Like, "Oh my God, Robert died." I'm like, "Who?"
Playing Stan Gable was Ted McGinley.
I think out of everybody in
Oh,
this
yeah.
cast, he probably had
He's
the
the best
biggest
career.
like
Yeah.
post nerds career.
Well, Married with Children.
Yeah.
And the Love
Love Boat and
Yeah.
Happy
Love Boat.
Days, which was probably before this actually.
Yeah, Happy
was probably
Days
before
ended
this.
in 84.
So yeah,
So right around this
But he
time,
was in
yeah.
something we watched recently. He was someone's husband, the one with the shrinking.
Yes, with Harrison
yeah.
Ford. Yes,
Yep.
that's right. He was.
Yeah,
he
it was
was
the
Yeah.
neighbor's husband.
the girl from Scrubs. Damn, what's her name?
I don't know, but she's the next door neighbor's husband.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's really funny
Yeah.
in it too.
Yeah,
Yep.
he is.
Oh my God,
He's just like, whatever, hon.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's like, whatever.
and he's so much like not Jefferson
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
any of these guys anymore. He's not blonde. He's kind of just got like a
So
short.
you mentioned Married with Children. Can you tell me how many episodes of Married with Children?
Well, he left.
And
was
oh,
in
he
the
came in
beginning.
at the
Second
end.
one.
he
was
came
the
in
second
after
husband.
Steve
After
Rhodes.
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve left to do his own show with Jason
I'll
Bateman.
say-
And it failed.
And it failed.
55.
No, he was on for like at least 5 seasons. I'm
Oh, I
gonna
was
say
thinking 3 seasons.
I'm gonna say like 150. Because that show went on
150. What
for a
did you
long
say?
time.
I think I said 50.
I'm going with Dana, like 65.
Oh wait, so wait a minute. So I'm saying
going lower.
5 seasons, 125.
He was in 167
Wow.
episodes.
Oh my
Say
God.
way under 50.
No way.
There was a total.
Wow.
There was 11 seasons. It was
And he was-
263
and he
episodes.
was
He was
on-
on about 7 or 8
Yeah.
seasons.
Oh,
wanna
I
say.
didn't. I
didn't
felt like
realize
the
there
other
were
guy
many
was on
seasons.
longer.
We think that Steve left like in season 6, but he probably left
Yeah.
after
I
season
think he left
2
season
or something
3, and I
like
think
that.
he came in
Oh, really?
season 4. I want to say
Steve was great
yeah.
too.
Oh, he
Okay.
was,
by the way,
yeah.
but he was.
And that's one of those
McGinley
weird
was
things where
better.
they recast somebody and you're like, oh,
And it
it's just
actually
as
worked
good.
for him,
and,
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably better.
and that
but-
guy was like, he didn't play the exact same character. He was more Al's buddy. He was,
Right.
you know, he was kind of like a no-man guy.
But he
Steve
was
would have never been
terrified
a
of
no-man.
Darcy.
Oh my God.
Great show.
That was a great show.
Up next was Donald Gibb. He played Ogre. Can you tell me Ogre's full name?
Frederick something long and Polishy sounding. Papa Scott
Yeah.
or
It's
something
Frederick Aloysius Ogre Palawaski.
Palawaski, okay. Aloysius is the middle name. I did not pick up on the middle name, but that was great.
You want to
Ogre,
try
you asshole. Just Ogre.
Revenge of the Nerds is in his top 4. And
I
then
know
he's
he
got
was in the second one, right?
He's in the second one.
Yeah,
He's
he
like-
became a
they make him
nerd.
good
No,
guy.
became a
The
nerd.
second one, yep.
no other Nerds movies
Oh,
are in his
okay.
top 4.
I don't know if I've ever seen
Was
him in
he
anything else.
in? Was he in the boat? Which one was the boat movie? The regatta movie?
Titanic.
No.
One Crazy Summer.
Yeah. Was he in that?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Richard Crenna. That
He was in Bloodsport.
Oh yeah, Climb
Okay.
on down, whatever.
I think this is Tommy Lee Jones. U.S. Marshals.
was the
That was the
sequel
the
to
sequel
the
to,
Is that Tommy Lee
Fugitive,
Jones?
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
the
it was.
Fugitive without Harrison Ford. That's the one with Robert Downey Jr. too.
Yes,
I
yeah.
never saw this movie, and I never will. Hancock.
I saw Hancock.
with
He was in that.
Will
Who's
Smith.
in that? I never saw
Isn't
that.
it Kevin
Bateman.
James?
Terrible movie. Just
What, Hancock?
No,
Yeah.
Hancock wasn't Kevin James.
no. It's Jason Bateman and Charlize Theron and
They're like superheroes.
I lost a
Will
little
Smith.
respect for Jason Bateman.
yeah, he was a part man. It wasn't Jason Bateman now. It was
I
Jason
don't hate
Bateman
Jason
10 years ago.
Bateman.
I'm saying you lost respect for
I
him.
lost a
Took
little bit of
movie
respect
with
for him.
Oh
Will
my
Smith, but
God.
He was looking for a paycheck.
You
back
hate
then, man.
him just on principle.
Yeah.
No one was knocking
Well,
at
I hate
Bateman's
him,
door
but-
then, but now they're
Jason
knocking at his
Bateman, you
door.
were up here because he's got the cool first.
So-
I already have my in with him. We
Oh
saw
my
him first
God.
name.
Jason Bateman was courtside at one of the Knicks games, and he had the real long hair. I
Yeah.
listened to the Smartless podcast the other day. Larry David was on, and they were
Yeah.
They started talking sports, and Larry David's like, "So Jason, what's with the hair?" He's like, "I saw you at courtside." He's like, "Oh, I'm doing it for a part." He's like, "I have till October to grow my hair out." So he's that long now in May. That hair is gonna
Yeah,
be
like how long does his
real.
hair need to be?
Well,
What's
he
the part?
says he's like a detective movie, and
Oh,
Larry was like,
okay.
"Obviously, you're playing the detective. You know, he'll be guess the person that they're going after." But yeah, that's why he was growing his hair long. Who are we on?
Ogre.
Sorry, Ogre.
That was Ogre. We
Oh.
just finished up
Oh,
Ogre.
okay.
We're going on to Mr. Skolnick, played by James Cromwell.
But not James Cromwell, because his name was Jamie Cromwell in the credits.
Oh,
like,
really?
When they started rolling the
I didn't
credits,
notice
I was
that.
like, Jamie Cromwell. He does not sound like a tough guy with the name Jamie Cromwell.
It
No.
doesn't work. Just like Jim doesn't work. Yeah, Jim Cromwell.
He's James Cromwell,
Yeah.
and he's been in a million things.
Succession?
man.
Succession.
Yeah, he
did
was his
make it,
brother,
though.
right?
Was he
Yeah,
in
he was
Babe?
good
Did
at
Babe make it?
That was probably
Did what
his
make
biggest
it?
Babe.
Right.
No, Babe,
Babe did not make it?
Because that's
What?
like I think
Really?
that's the first time people started noticing who he was.
Wow,
he
I
was
thought that'd
in
be his biggest one.
He was in that awesome 1950s noir movie with Kim Basinger won Best Actress for it.
LA Confidential?
Confidential.
Yep.
He was the bad cop in that. He
That's
killed
in his
Kevin
top
Spacey.
4. Number 1 of his top 4.
He killed Kevin Spacey sitting there right at this table. Bam, killed him. He was also Zephyrin Cochrane in Star Trek First
Contact. That is correct in his
Nice.
top 4.
He's the man that develops warp drive for the humans.
How about the General's Daughter
I don't know that one.
How was that
Or-
bigger than Babe?
or The
Yeah.
Green Mile?
Oh, yes, he's the
yeah, I can
warp
see
in
that.
Or
Listen,
yeah.
the algorithm for top 4
Yeah.
is insane.
Succession's not
We
there,
can't
huh?
even go into that. That's just it makes no
Succession should be
sense.
there.
That's why
No.
these movies are in there. You know?
I'm sorry, Babe was better.
And Babe, like, I feel that's the thing everybody would know him from over
Yeah.
anything else. Like, because
Yeah.
that's the first time you probably knew who he was.
Yeah.
Or he wasn't
The
just like
pig
the
got
tall
top
old
billing,
man.
I guess.
So. Starting as the human, James Cromwell. Yeah.
David Wohl playing Dean Ulick.
Okay.
Is that the little nerdy Dean?
Yes,
guy?
that's the
I
Dean.
didn't recognize him.
Nerds was in his top 4 along with Hot Shots Part 2.
Oh, no.
Part 2.
I can't.
Danny, you would love that one.
No.
Charlie Sheen fights Saddam
I
Hussein.
can't stand Charlie Sheen.
We,
But you like Saddam Hussein?
the whackness
I know what I'm rooting for.
and the War of the Roses.
Oh, the
Oh,
Dan
yeah.
DeVito, Michael Douglas, Kathleen
Which one
Turner
did we
movie.
do? We did.
Romance in the Stone.
Yeah.
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 Sorry.
That's not the one that DeVito directed, right?
no, that was the next one. The
Jewel in the Nile.
Jewel in the Nile.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I was just
playing-
watching Danny DeVito clips on TikTok today from It's Always Sunny. Man, that guy's a national treasure, man. He's getting
He is.
older. I'm really nervous. Like any day,
He's up in the 70s now. Yeah, late 70s.
We're gonna get the note that Danny DeVito's no longer with us, and the world will not be as funny because Danny DeVito's not alive anymore.
Oh my God. Don't say that. He's not that old.
And he's been in the public
Why put
eye
that
the whole
in
time.
the air?
I know, you put it out there in the universe.
I just don't want it to ever. Like some people, I think should get a pass. Danny DeVito should get a pass. He should never die. Just let him keep going.
All right, playing Coach Harris is John Goodman.
Oh, I love John Goodman
Is this his
so
first movie?
much.
Is
This is his first movie.
This is the
yeah.
first thing he
Wait,
ever
this
did.
is his first movie? Oh, shit.
That Menon commercial was before this, right? That you sent.
He
the
did
other
some
day?
commercials and maybe
Yeah.
a TV spot.
So
here
the
and
Big
there.
Lebowski's got to be there, right? That's his top.
I'm going to say
Nope,
Roseanne.
Absolutely not.
Either Roseanne or
Neither is
the
Roseanne.
Connors.
What?
10
Raising
Cloverfield
Arizona?
Lane is.
Oh, my God.
What
That's a
was
no.
that?
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, okay. He was good in that. Yeah.
He was
yeah.
in Coyote Ugly.
That
How
didn't
about
make it.
Gemstones?
Righteous Gemstones?
Not on
No?
Oh,
there.
my God.
How about Barton Fink?
Oh, that was a
Okay,
good
that's another
movie.
Paul Brothers movie.
Yeah,
but
I like that movie.
How about Argo? Argo, fuck yourself.
That's right.
Oh,
the Ben
he was
Affleck
in that?
movie.
Yes.
I never saw that one.
That was
the
good. I like
Iran
that movie, yeah.
But Roseanne's not on there?
And
That's
Roseanne's
crazy.
not on there. And then
God, he's been doing Roseanne for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Flight is the other thing. That's
Oh,
on there.
Flight was so
Denzel. I don't remember him being in
saw
good. He
that.
was the drug dealer. Denzel's drug dealer, I believe.
John Goodman was a
Yeah.
drug dealer? Nice.
I
Wow.
think that's who Denzel went to get his drugs at one point.
I don't remember that.
I didn't see
either.
that movie.
I saw it.
That movie has one of the scariest plane crash
when he
scenes that I've
flies
ever
the plane
seen.
Where he plays it
upside
upside
down?
down, right? That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to get on a plane after that.
Playing UN Jefferson was Bernie Casey.
Bernie Casey.
Who is that? The guy from the
Lambda.
Lambda, the head guy. Now, Bernie Casey was a football player in the 60s
Yep, he was.
before
Oh,
our
really?
time, but he played for the Rams and the 49ers. I
Neither of
believe.
them made his top four.
I don't know if he was a good
He's
football
probably
player.
in
I
all
don't-
those like Shaft and those kind of
Revenge of
movies,
the
right?
Nerds is in
But
his
he was
top
also
four.
he was the
Something.
You got
Wayne's
it.
the Wayne's
You got
brother
it.
one. I'm gonna get you, sucker.
Gonna Get
He
You
was-
Sucker.
I'm gonna get you,
yeah.
sucker.
He was also in Bill and Ted's
Yes,
Excellent
he's the
Adventure.
teacher.
right.
He's the teacher.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
And Never Say Never Again.
Oh,
James
right.
Bond?
We just saw that. He's
Wow.
Felix Leiter, the Jeffrey Wright role that with
the
Daniel
one I
Craig.
did? That's not the one I did.
I don't know if you did. That was a Sean Connery one.
Yeah.
With Kim Basinger.
No.
Okay.
Is he alive anymore?
I don't think Bernie Casey.
Bernie Casey passed in 2017. 78 from a stroke.
Man, I forgot that he was. He was in Never Say Never Again. But yeah, he was good. I like that.
I'm going to cut the cast there. I don't think I need to go over anymore.
And I don't think there was any
No.
hidden people in this, like secret stars that are in the background.
Nope.
I mean, there were a ton of young people in all those scenes with the moos and the
Yeah.
and the
Lambdas.
lambdas, but I didn't see anybody that you're gonna be like, oh my god, that was Tom Cruise. And so when I turned this movie on and I started watching it, and the credits started coming up, and it said adult content, adult language, and brief nudity, I was like,
Brief.
nudity.
Brief.
I'm like, I think I got the wrong movie. And then it started, and I was like, no, this is Revenge of the Nerds, but I tend to think this is not brief nudity, and then it is not brief nudity.
That's a pretty long scene there.
Yeah, that shower scene or the house scene. That
Yeah.
was crazy. I was like, man, I forgot like how much like full frontal nudity. I was
Now,
like,
he asked for
Jesus
Bush and he
Christ.
got it.
Yeah.
By the way, can we just get it out of the way? He had the best lines in this movie. He's like, what does she have, a penis?
That's
and
the best line.
I left my mom's
I wrote that
douche-
down in my notes.
I left my mom's
Oh, yeah, I
douche in
remember.
Ohio.
Yes, I
Oh, that's my favorite
remember.
line. It's impossible. She's in Ohio.
I was like, this is like this.
That's in my notes, that one.
Yes, I have that whole
But I
line.
was just like, man, they give him such good lines. He had by far the best line.
What are you looking at,
Absolutely.
nerd? He goes, I thought I was looking at my mother's old douchebag, but that's in Ohio.
I just love the way they shout "nerd." They're so offended by the sight of nerds.
And-
I mean, and I lived in '84. Okay,
They were like up on the roof. They were,
yeah.
And let me tell you, when you go to college, nobody cares about anybody
Yeah.
else's
Right.
life at
It's
all.
like they
You are
wanted
not.
to have that high school mentality, but they wanted
Yeah.
to age it up for some of the things they were going to do.
because they wanted to be adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Ogre looks like he's like 30 years old. They should have
yeah.
made some
I
kind
wanted
of
to-
comment
yeah.
that like this guy's obviously
It's
like his
his
8th year
8th year,
senior.
yeah.
Right.
And did he murder that kid that he was hanging upside down?
He did. He paralyzed them for sure.
You didn't hear him scream until like 5 seconds went by. I'm like, he fell a long way.
Do you remember how long it was going to take them to get to college?
7 hours.
7 hours and
something.
something. Yeah.
After lunch and 2 ARVs,
ARVs.
which are ARVs are average restroom visits. It was 7 hours, 18 minutes, and 7 seconds.
They were going 35 miles an hour on the
Yes.
freeway.
Cruise control was set to 35.
No, it's
that,
funny.
that big crate on top too.
This movie looks like it's. I think they wanted this to be filmed in the Midwest. This feels like a Midwest kind of college things. But there are palm trees when they first get to the college.
Yeah.
And I looked it up. I'm like, where is it actually filmed? University of Arizona. So it was filmed in
Oh.
Arizona, but I think they wanted it to feel Midwest.
Oh, yeah, you wanted it to not feel, yeah.
Okay.
In the station, or what was it? How many students are there at Adams College?
You're doing the math because of the boobs. Oh, man, I don't know.
Oh, I know. It was 7,000 boobs.
It was, 6,127 students at Adams College. 58% are girls, so that's 7,107.32 boobs.
Yes.
0.32 boobs. Those poor girls with the 0.32 boobs. How does that happen? How do you have a fraction for that person?
So you had Donald Gibb was 30, Ted McGinley was 26, Larry B. Scott was 23, Curtis Armstrong 31, Busfield 27, Anthony Edwards was 22, Carradine 30, and then you had John Goodman 32.
Wow.
He looks
wasn't
older,
that much
though. He
older.
doesn't look 32.
He's one of those
40.
guys that always look older.
He also,
Yeah.
you were talking about Booger having the best lines. He also had the best T-shirt. Give me head until I'm dead.
That was
Yeah.
great. And he wore that for that whole painting scene. I was like, you're going to ruin your shirt, man. That's a classic. You wear that to church on Sundays. You don't wear that painting.
And then James Cromwell said he came up with the laugh. He said he was he came up with the nerd laugh. The other actors imitated. He said later on he was driving home after
right,
the
'cause they're
first day
laughing in
production.
the car,
He said it was
right.
his ex-wife's laugh that he was imitating.
Because that's what he says. You guys just want to go get laid or something like that, and they all start laughing.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I saw here that the kid that played Wormser, since he was so young, they wanted to make sure that he was like he didn't see those scenes, everything that they
Oh,
were
he saw
filming and
them all.
everything. So they said to make sure as a young actor he did not witness or play a main role in many of the scenes that earned the film its R rating. But Cassace, however, was allowed to see the film when he was still below 17 years old and was very surprised what he'd been missing in the film.
He's like, oh my God. Oh my, why couldn't I do the
I
panty
would have
raid
loved to
scene?
see that.
That's why they stuck him up in the attic doing the cameras, because then you didn't actually see him, assaulting women. So we were talking about it earlier. The theme song at the beginning, like I was convinced it was Devo. I was like, it's got to be.
It
I thought
sounds
it was
very
Boingo
Devo-ish, yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
actually.
well, that's what Jason said. It could have been Oingo Boingo, but it was nobody, right?
That was a no-name.
some other band.
I actually
looked
looked it up.
It wasn't a real name band. Yeah, so.
But it sounds like a Devo song. And then at one point, I was like, is it Weird Al? Like, it sounds kind of Weird Al-y,
Yeah, but it
wasn't him either.
Yeah.
I heard Talking Heads in there, though.
They were in
Yes.
there,
Yeah. And I was surprised. They had Thriller.
Yeah.
They had
In
We
there,
Are the
yeah.
We Are the
Champions. I was like,
Champions.
damn, like
Yeah.
the budget for the music in this was like huge. I don't know, maybe back then you didn't pay a lot of, I mean, there's been movies
Probably
that...
not.
But there's been movies made then that they changed for the re-record for the release of it, and this
they
one
changed
still
music.
had it.
Yeah. I wonder if like they made some kind of deal back then that
Yeah.
just said they get the music for forever. I mean, Thriller had only come out the year before. Maybe at that point they didn't know what they had. I think they knew what they had already,
Yeah.
but
Right.
I don't know. That was when they started playing Thriller. I was like, damn, I'm like, how much did they pay Michael Jackson for this?
For Wonder Joints.
Because those things were so big.
Huge.
But everybody was smoking them like cigars. That was great. They were passing those things around. When Arnold was with the girl and they had that big fatty, I was like, she just said, I just want to, do we want to fuck?
Yeah.
So, although Booger is arguably Curtis Armstrong's most famous character, he initially did not want the role. According to his comments on the Panty Raid DVD edition, is that the one you have? The Panty
Probably,
Raid
yeah.
DVD?
Yeah, that's one.
He originally read for the role of Gilbert, but was later asked to read for Booger. He recalls telling his fellow actor Bronson Pinchot that if he was offered the role of Booger, they could just fucking forget it. I'm not picking my nose on camera for anyone.
Wow.
I did.
But he did it.
Oh, interesting. I wonder how they talked him into doing that. I mean, that's so weird.
Well, he only did it that one time, right? And it was kind
He did it
of.
twice.
Twice.
He did it when
Did
they
it arm wrestling?
when Takashi asked
Oh,
him,
that's
like,
right.
he's like, why
Arm
do they call you
wrestling.
Booger? And he's like, I don't know. And he just starts
Yeah.
his nose.
I wonder if he leaned into it more in the second movie when he got really famous because of that. Not really famous, but
yeah,
more well-known
He might
from it.
have, yeah.
So, one of my biggest problems with this movie is the colossal waste of beer that they have, especially at that fraternity party at the
Stage,
beginning. Just
stair diving?
Stair diving. Ogre's just spitting it out all over
Yeah.
the place. At one point, he comes into the place and he starts spitting beer all over the place, and he says, "Fill me up!" And he puts that big chalice. They start dumping beer in there. I'm like, he's just gonna waste it. Don't give it to the guy. I was very disappointed with how much beer they wasted. And then even when he's riding the Trojan horse, he's just spitting beer all over the place. Now, I don't know what the actual math was, but they did 20 laps in that thing, and they had to drink
Oh my God,
20
I know.
beers.
That's
You know,
crazy.
It didn't
That's
look
a lot.
like it would take more than like 30 seconds, maybe a minute to go around.
On
the
a
track.
tricycles,
on
yeah.
a tricycle, that had to take a lot longer.
But
than
I mean, the track wasn't that big, so let's
Okay.
say it took a minute to go around. They're drinking 20 beers in 20 minutes. I mean, like. People
took
are
that
going to
pill.
die. Well, he did, but no
Yeah,
one else
that's
was
right.
doing
That's
that.
what I mean, yeah.
I guess the people that got too drunk didn't make it around 20 times.
Yeah,
but
probably not.
Jesus, man, I was like, that is a lot of beer to drink. I'd like to think I could do it, but
Going back
I
to the
don't know.
ages, Dean Ulick is only 2 months older than Curtis Armstrong.
Wow.
oh, really? Yeah, he looked older too. Well, bald guys always look older. Bald and beards make guys
Yeah.
look so much older.
Yeah, that's why Ogre had to shave his beard for this. They
Oh,
said
did he
because
have
he
a
had
beard?
a beard for this. They said he looked too old to be in it with his beard.
The line snacks and things. Can we put a little fridge over there for snacks and things? That was our friend Bruce's favorite line. I mean, he would always talk
right.
about. He's like, we could put the fridge over there and put snacks and things in it. It's so dumb. But as soon as he said it in this movie, I was like, it's Bruce's favorite line. Love the line.
The girl that plays Gilbert's girlfriend in this, she will be in Real Genius.
Oh, really?
As
The
a
one that
college
plays-
nerd.
oh, Judy?
Yeah, so she's got that one.
The movie
coming
I
up
wanted
there.
to watch,
Yes.
Instead of what?
Top Secret. I mixed those two up. When I picked Top Secret, I thought it was Real Genius.
And you picked Buckaroo Banzai because you thought it was something else too.
No, I
right?
picked
No, she just
Buckaroo
started the
Banzai
pool.
because the trailer looked good.
Oh, so bad.
And it was terrible. They totally catfished me on that one.
And I love cult movies. That was bad.
We didn't do it. We were like, she picked it. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do it.
Repo
Did you
Man
guys
was-
like it?
No.
Repo Man was far superior.
No, it wasn't.
That,
Repo
I
Man
don't
is better.
understand. You and Mike,
Best soundtrack ever.
I wanted to kick you both off the podcast.
Listen, can't have everyone agree with you every time.
You had Jamie Gertz, Joan Cusack, and Sarah Jessica Parker all auditioning for the role of Judy, which
Really?
was Gilbert's girlfriend.
Oh, I love Jamie Gertz.
Man, she's too good looking. But it was funny, when they brought the moose over at the party and all these girls are coming in. I was saying to Michelle, none of these girls are unattractive.
No.
I mean,
I was
thinking the same thing. I'm
some
like,
of them
they're
are
bad.
bigger,
But for the 80s,
I guess
for
but I was-
80s attractive, if you weren't skinny, you know what I mean? If you weren't really skinny, then you were
the girl that
not
Lewis
attractive.
hooked
I don't
up
know,
with was
though.
Yeah.
the girl that he took
Yeah,
up the bed. I was
she's
like,
cute.
that girl is really good looking.
He should have been with her, not Betty.
Yes, I agree. I was shocked when I saw it. I'm like, how's this girl, first of all, ugly or
Yeah.
a pig or whatever, and then
Yeah.
he's getting her, and that's not good enough for him? See?
But
Yeah.
like we were saying before, any decade that but Molly Ringwald is like
The hot person.
the hot girl in like every movie.
Yeah.
The 80s were
But I
a
love
confusing
her.
time. Everybody was on cocaine. We didn't make good
Speaking of the
No
80s.
good decisions were made in the 80s.
The montage of them cleaning and
Oh, I
fixing
wrote
up the
that down.
house. There are so many montages in movies from the 80s that I remember for some reason them cleaning up and fixing up a house and making it livable, that I just thought that, it must be so easy to fix up
Weird
a house.
Science
Like
has
when
the
you
best
grow
one.
up and you
I
buy
was
a
thinking
house.
risky
and-
business, too.
Yeah.
I wrote that down in my notes. Every 80s movie has the getting shit done sequence with a bad song playing.
Yeah.
That is so. I mean, that house should have been condemned. The fact
Yeah.
that they were allowed to
It just
rent that
threw
to
up some
people.
paint wallpaper and it was totally fine.
Yeah. Oh, that was great with Takashi smoking the joint. And he's just like, I feel fucking great. Oh yeah, man, great movie. Damn. So when James Cromwell drops them off at school and he's giving them the pep talk, that dude couldn't drop them off any closer to their dorm.
Oh, my God,
mean,
I know.
they walked across the entire campus with that lug in that trunk, which turned out to really just have the robot in it, because he dumped his clothes
The
out.
robot is great.
He dumped his clothes out in 2 seconds. He just pulled out 2 handfuls of clothes.
Yeah.
And then everything else was the robot. I was like, oh man.
You know what's great? How great was that song they performed?
Oh.
So
Oh,
bad.
that's
Oh,
awesome
yeah.
song,
I
yeah.
love it, but-
Dun, 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 dun.
It's funny, when I was in college and we had a fraternity talent night, or it was the same kind of thing, Olympics, sporting, and then we had, it was lip sync though. It was a little lip sync thing, and our fraternity, we actually did Shoot to Thrill by AC/DC.
Nice.
But the Delta Towns, was that who that was that lived next door to us? They did.
Yeah, the song from
Lambda,
Nerds?
Lambda, Lambda,
No.
They-
Omega
they had
Moon
to win,
song.
right?
They did. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
funny because they had one black guy in the fraternity, so he was perfect for Lamar. And of course, that was the biggest joke. Well, I won't say why it was also a funny joke too, but
Lamar Latrell. I think he was too old, but they said Rick Moranis was considered for the role of Louis Skolnick, but he was unavailable because he was filming Ghostbusters. I think it would have been.
it wouldn't
I don't think it
have
would have worked.
I mean,
with
all
him.
those other guys are 30, so I don't know if he was that
Yeah,
much
but he
older.
doesn't look it. They look at it a little more. I
I
guess.
don't know. Rick Moranis kind of looks nerdy.
No,
But he
for
doesn't
sure.
look young. I don't think. he
No,
looks young
maybe
enough,
not.
yeah.
Maybe not. But some of those guys, I mean, like...
But Eddie Deason was also considered
Of
to be
course
one
he
of the
was.
nerds in this,
Yeah.
but they didn't get him. But John Candy, Jason Alexander, Nathan Lane, and Danny DeVito were considered for the role of the Dean.
Ah, man, it would have been so much better with Jason Alexander. That would have been great.
Nathan
Would've
Lane
been
would have
great.
worked too, probably. I don't think John Candy would have worked as the Dean.
No. There was a comment, I guess towards the end when Betty tried to get, what's his name, to go into the moon house with her. And he said, God, Betty, you're like a goat.
Yeah,
I didn't
goat.
get that.
Yes. I said to Michelle, I'm like, doesn't
what
he
is
mean
that?
Greatest of
rabbit?
all time?
Doesn't he mean rabbit?
I just
That's what he should have said, rabbit, right?
Yeah, like I was.
But it was
looked at
funny
her
he said
like, I don't
goat.
get that.
So they burned down the house.
Burning down
Burned
the
down-
house.
And why did he aim at the curtains when he was doing the fireball thing? But whatever. He turned and aimed to right at the curtains
Yeah.
and set the house on fire.
And I was
So
just like,
there were, I counted the amount of guys there when they were outside the dorm room. There were 10 guys there. And then when they did the jock burning thing, there were 20. So at the most, you had 20 football players on a team, which seems like it's a very understaffed football team. Why did they have to kick 100 kids out of their dorm rooms?
Yeah.
You know, they could have taken like 5 rooms, I think, and not
one
enough
needed
room
that,
for the
yeah.
guys. But I was just like, why are all these kids getting displaced for 15 at that point players and whatever? I just thought that they did a bad job of representing how many people were on the football team.
Right.
Because that team was not winning any games, and they were very proud of their winning record and winning for homecoming and stuff like that. And I was like, these guys aren't going to do it.
No?
we'll see Anthony Edwards and the Dean next year in Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
1985's Gotcha.
Yeah, I saw
I don't
that,
know that one.
back then, and
I
I don't
haven't
think I've ever
seen it
seen it
since.
since then.
I
Yeah.
remember it, but I can't.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't remember
it
it.
at all.
I mean, I remember the name and everything,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
can't think of what the hell it's about.
No.
What was the other movie we were talking about earlier that you said we're doing next year? And I was like, I saw it in the theater, or maybe it was you and me. I don't know.
Better
Whatever.
Off Dead?
Was it Better Off Dead? Yeah. I saw it in the theater and never have seen it since
I-
then.
Really?
It's crazy. Yeah.
Are you
I
serious?
love that.
I've
love
seen
that.
it
It's like
so
one of
many
those-
times.
Yeah, me too.
I love
We do
that.
that
Just
next
like-
year. Yeah, it's 85.
I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but it's just so funny how some movies just
Wow.
slip away and
I've seen
you
it
know,
Yeah.
over and over.
But you can remember so
I mean,
much of that movie.
I've seen
probably,
Revenge
too.
of the Nerds. I mean, I have seen it 50 times all the way through, and that might be light. I've seen it so many times
seen
because
it
that
a
was
lot
one of those
too, yeah.
movies that was
Yeah.
always on.
Yep.
Even the uncut versions I've seen at least
Yep.
20 times. You know,
Yeah.
a lot
Saw
of
it in the
TBS
theater.
times. Yeah. I didn't see this in the theater because I couldn't see. I was
Yeah, it was
too
rated
young
R,
to see
yeah.
it then. But
Too young.
I mean, this is like one of the first movies I got on video from the West Coast Video that was up the street from my house. Nice.
What do you got? Andy? So you got a lot of notes.
I took notes too.
I took some.
I actually said, unless one of these guys is a structural engineer, there's no way they should be moving into this house.
When they were all putting their jock straps and the guy was collecting them, the Chinese guy or the Japanese guy, and he's like, "You know karate?" And then he's like, "No, good." And I put it on his head.
I thought you were
I was
talking about when they
right
were putting the liquid heat on. And he's like,
Oh
"Looks
my
like,
God.
looks like salad."
Yeah.
How'd they get them all back into the right?
Dude, how did they know whose was
I
whose,
don't
right?
think they did.
I don't think they
Oh yeah,
I love
one of Booger's other great lines is, "I say we blow their fucking houses up."
He said, he came back
and he goes back to it.
I say we do that.
Yeah, I say we blow up their houses.
I love Gilbert's like speech at the end, and he says about nerd persecution ending. That's the end. Calm down.
I remember hating this ending, and when it was coming, I was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be the stupid end with the speech and stuff like that." In my brain, it was like a 10-minute scene. It was like a 2-minute
Yeah,
scene, so it really didn't matter. And it's really cool when UN shows up there with all the other Lambda
Right,
brothers,
right.
Yeah,
and
they
they're
start
just all,
walking out,
and
yeah.
all of a sudden the white guys are like, "Oh, what the
I also like when he's like, I'm a nerd, and all the nerds start coming up, and the whole marching band goes up.
And Michelle was like, "Why are all those cheerleaders going up? They're not nerds." I'm like, "Well, Betty is now a nerd, so
Yeah.
it's support for Betty." I guess.
just that whole thing. No, if Betty would have never gone with him, even if it was the best sex she ever had.
No?
No. I feel like that girl. Like, remember in Teen Wolf when he really liked a popular girl, but his best friend.
Boof was
Yeah.
Boof. The whole time,
He should have
yeah.
stayed with.
Yeah,
I
and
love
he did
Boof.
end up with her at the end. Didn't
Yeah.
he pick
Yes.
her at the end? That's what. I kind of felt
He
like that
chooses
should
Booth
happen
at the end because he
yeah.
walks right past the blonde.
But they
Yeah.
never showed that girl again in this movie.
No,
I
they
don't
didn't.
think. So there was
No.
no. She wasn't sitting there pining.
Yeah,
for,
it wasn't like she was
Yeah.
after
For
him. Yeah, she was
Lewis.
probably just out for that one night too.
I was a little disappointed how invested John Goodman was in the social life of his players. Like when they were doing the stupid skit, he's
just
sitting
love
there smiling at them, like so proud of them.
Yeah.
Like,
They're
what?
kids.
He's just,
I
like, he's
know.
just the coach of the football team. But he also had his line. He's like,
Look,
you
you
do
win state, we win.
But no,
take a
when
bowl game.
after
We'll get a
they
bowl
get
game.
embarrassed, when he's like, you do this for your father, your maker, and your coach. Like the coach is the top of the list there. Oh my god, that was so funny. And when they destroyed that house, I was like, this is way beyond like
John
just
Goodman is so good in this movie.
Yeah.
He's really good.
that was like domestic terrorism at the end there. Like they destroyed their house, and the cops saying that they couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I was like, I think the cops have.
might have been able to do something.
I think the cops are allowed to. I think they come over to campus security and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Oh, well, a lot of campuses are cops. They're
I have
just
to
They were
say,
jocks too, though.
the
Cops.
nerds did all the bullying that was done. The nerds did the worst. They really did. They, with putting in the cameras and all the things they did and raiding that house, that topped the cake of everything bad that
Well,
happened
yeah,
in the
because
whole
they were
movie.
smarter, so they
Yeah.
did the things
Yeah.
that really affected them. I mean, they got their
And-
house destroyed.
Yeah,
But that's
and
what I love about the
putting
movie.
her boobs in the pie.
That's great.
Like everything they did, everything was worse.
Yeah.
So looking at it, kind of
They
like
call that a pie, though.
yeah, it was just
Oh,
a
just
whipped
whipped
cream.
cream, and just like a little bit. And why?
And she was wearing like nipple covers on
It
in that
looked
picture,
very
right?
weird.
Didn't they look
One of her-
weird?
One of her
They did
nipples
look
were
weird. I thought that.
gigantic. I was like, what happened to her?
Yeah, and it wasn't just
Did
the
she
nipple. It
develop
was like
breast cancer
I
during
think
the
they
middle of the
had
shoot?
fake nipples on top of
It
her
looked
to
like
cover
that.
it.
Pink plastic.
Like a pasty
thing.
or something.
Yeah.
Like a pasty.
Yeah.
Is that the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I like about it,
pasty.
Dana, though. They're not virtuous, you know. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not the
They're not
better
actually
people.
good
They
guys.
actually just
No.
want to be popular. They
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
be just like the jocks, really.
Yep.
They
Yeah.
just want to be popular.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same thing.
When
They're
they were-
chasing the girls.
They were
and
talking
everything.
about the pies. They were like, guys are buying them 2-3 at a time. I'm like, I thought they were going to be different girls because they had more than one girl
Yeah.
on camera naked. So I was, when they were just showing them cutting Betty out of
just
all the
ready
I'm like,
with two.
why would you buy 3 of those? Like, you only need one.
Yeah.
It's the same picture. You only need one of them.
It's not like you're getting like baseball cards out of a cereal box, and you know you gotta get.
Like-
I gotta get another box of Cheerios
Am I
because
going to get the Betty,
I didn't
Betty
get
Child's
the Pete
rookie-
Rose card
The
yet.
Betty Child's rookie card is going to be at the bottom of this pie. And I when it flashed up on the screen, I was like, oh, I got to remember that. And then they never went back to it because they had the price list of the kisses. It was like 50 cents for like, it said like a single,
Yeah.
and then it went double, triple, and then tongue. And I was like, how much was tongue? And they never went back to it. And I was like, do I rewind it? And Michelle's, I'm like, I gotta rewind the movie so I can see how much a tongue costs. So I never rewound it. And I never got it. I was actually looking it up before. I was like, can I
You
find
were
out?
hoping one of us got
I was
it.
like, how much was a tongue? And
It's probably worth
like,
it,
here's
whatever it was.
$5. Like, give me your tongue, there,
Yeah,
Steve.
It was 84. I would have probably
Yeah.
paid it.
Right.
Well, they have a lot of kissing booths in movies and TV shows. Like, but has that ever happened in real life?
I can't imagine.
Because
I've
it's
never seen that.
disgusting.
Yeah, it
when
really is.
I went to
Yeah, I've never
Allentown,
seen one in real
had
life.
a street fair, and they had a kissing booth for puppies. I totally did that
Oh, that's
one.
a little different.
Yeah, it was a little
But
different.
like one
But, like,
person has herpes, man. Everybody
Yeah.
is getting herpes.
Like, I don't know. I wonder if that's ever happened.
And like, do
Seriously.
you have chapstick there? Like, to just like, you just your lips are getting chapped after a while.
Here,
You're
kiss
like,
this nerd. Here, kiss this nerd.
That poor woman.
I know, right?
She just sat there. You could see the sadness behind her eyes. Poor girl.
do you know what mopery is?
I was just going to say mopery.
I know what mopery is,
Exposing yourself to a blind person.
That's right. And that guy's name was in the credits too. The Moper. I saw. he gets a credit.
Do you know what,
What are his top
jersey number Stan wears?
Stan was
Oh, no.
12. He wasn't 12. He was the quarterback. I would have thought he would 12.
He's number
7?
10.
10.
Yeah,
All right.
number
Okay.
10.
Eli Manning.
Cordell Stewart.
Oh, okay. And what was Booger? Was he their linebacker? Not Booger, Ogre. Like they were
He was
announcing
either
I would imagine.
he's either that or he's an offensive line.
because they announced him as one of the captains. Oh, speaking of which, why did they have their names written on their asses when they were mooning them when they sent the pigs in there and they were all
Oh,
Like,
it was their
they had
own.
they pulled their pants
This way
in. One
you
said
can give 'em
Gable,
away,
one
right?
said Ogre, like on their ass. I'm like,
This is so
they-
you can get in trouble. Like, that's over.
I can identify them because they wrote their names on their butts. Like, pull their pants down, and their names are going to still be on their butts. But it was really weird that they had their names.
I mean, is
written.
mooning a group of people really that big of a deal?
No, I
Like,
mean, no.
come on.
Got those nerds.
I know. I know, right?
Sending the pigs in was like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
happened? What happened to those pigs afterwards? They shuffled them out of the house and just like on campus now, eating the garbage. Oh, damn, I had something brilliant.
Get to your notes because we're going to get to some scores.
So, when they were in the beginning, when who was Anthony Edwards? What was his character's name? Gilbert first meets the girl in the computer room, and they are drawing with the keyboard only. I don't know if this is how computers work, right? Is that how computers worked in the 80s? Because that was amazing.
I remember taking a class in the early 80s called
I don't think so.
He was just going like this.
He was going boop, 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 and then there's the animation, and they look just like both of
You
them.
weren't even seeing anything that he was typing. It was just like he was hitting keys, and then all of a sudden a picture of a person.
And then
There was this computer program called Logo around that time. Probably, it was probably like at the beginning of high school, but that was just like you'd put the coordinates in and it would just draw like a line, but there was no way you were drawing two people.
Computers were so hard back then.
Terrible.
So Lamar, this is the first time I ever noticed, because they make no one's gonna have a date for this thing, and Lamar's like, I got a date, and Booger's like, yeah, but that's for the guy. Yeah, but then I saw him dancing with him. He had a green top on. Like at one point, they're the only two dancing. And I was like, oh my god,
I didn't
there's
notice
Lamar's
that.
date. I've never seen him before, and all the many times I've watched this movie, that I was like, oh, there is his date. I don't think you ever see him again.
Well, I don't think I noticed that.
Yeah.
I saw it. You never see him again during the entire movie, but they were definitely
Good
dancing.
for Lamar. He was a trailblazer back then.
Well, he's like, they're not going to discriminate against any sexual orientations, and everybody kind of like side eyes. Like, are they all surprised that he's gay?
Right?
I don't know.
Kind of clear.
When they said that with the javelin was because of his wrist.
The limp wristed throwing.
That's
right. I'm surprised that thing didn't fall apart in the air. It looked like it was held together with like scotch tape. And the beer that Booger used, the only beer name I saw during the entire movie was Booger had a Meisterbrow when he was doing the
I saw that.
He did,
I saw that
when he was
too.
doing the burp, he had a Meisterbrow. I was like, that beer tastes like shit. But it was probably like...
That's why they weren't wasting beer.
It was garbage. It was probably $5 a case back in the day.
All right, before we get the scores, anybody have anything else they want to get to?
Nope.
Nah.
The sequels were all bad. I don't know if any.
I think I only saw the second one.
Nerds in Paradise. Was there more than that?
Because
There's definitely a 3, and I think there might have been a 4.
Really? With the same
Nerds
cast?
in Love was
Well,
one.
there was only
Nerds
a few
in Love.
characters
Like,
that made it through all
I
of
know
them.
Anthony Edwards only comes back for a cameo in the second one. Like, he gets like the...
really?
He gets like the fucking lupus treatment in the second Bad News Bears. Like, he's like... I'm sick and I can't go, or something like that. They go to his house to pick him up, and he's like, I'm sick, I can't go to the clinic, or something like that. But I think the second one has Courtney Thorne-Smith in it.
Yeah.
I think she's like the love interest or something like
yes,
that.
I remember that.
And it was filmed where I used to live in Fort Lauderdale.
was
that
it?
area,
Okay,
yeah.
that's funny.
So that
The
was
only-
cool to see.
The only characters
But it's
that appear in every film in the series are Louis Skolnick, Mr.
Really?
Skolnick, Lamar Luttrell, and Booger.
So, like, James
Jay
Cromwell
Cromwell's in
did
all
all
four.
of them? I'm surprised James Cromwell's coming back for all of them, but... the only thing I remember from the second, I never saw the third and fourth, but they stayed at the Hotel Coral Essex was the hotel
Yes,
there,
it's like
and the things were all
sex,
burned out enough so it said hot oral sex.
Yes.
was the name of the hotel they were staying at.
Yep.
That was the only gag I remember from the whole stupid movie, except for the fact that they made Ogre a good guy at the end.
Yeah.
They made him drink the potion or whatever, and he became
Yeah.
he became a nerd.
Yeah.
He had glasses,
Yeah.
his hair parted in the
tape on
middle.
the glasses.
He's got the laugh down.
Right. Yes.
It was
Because he
bad, though.
burps and he starts laughing like a nerd. Yeah. Oh, it was terrible.
I mean, like all comedy sequels usually.
Almost always.
I guess I'll go first this time around. I love this movie. It's since I was a kid, I love this movie, and I'm just going to come right out. I'm going to give it an 83.
Okay.
It's a movie I can quote, and I'll continue to watch in the future. So again, I've only seen the first 2. I don't know if I'll ever watch 3 and 4, but I like this movie a lot. It's an 83 from Jason.
Okay.
Michelle gave this movie an 85.
Yay, Michelle.
I don't know if this is one of my top 10 favorite comedies. I probably could find 10 movies that I like more, but I would say this is one of my top 10 favorite comedies of all time. I gave this a 90.
Nice.
If you want to watch it again, I have stars for another 6.5 days, and we can go and watch it again right now.
I saw this movie a lot in the 80s as a kid, probably when I wasn't being watched, because I shouldn't be watching this movie.
Yeah.
And I have not seen it probably since the 90s. I don't know. But I remembered so much of it. Everything that came up, I remember this.
Yeah.
I loved it. I gave it an 85.
Dang, see, you do have a sense of humor. You
that.
get funny
Yeah.
stuff.
She's back.
It's
do like
not
funny-
stupid prop comedy. It's not props, but like, it's not
Parody.
slapstick. Yeah, like, I don't, whatever. Tara liked it too.
Good.
With the
She gave it a 74.
All right.
Usually Tara gives like 130. You know what I mean? She's like really high.
Did she give a 92 to like Firstborn or something like that? She gives some
So.
random scores.
She gave Johnny Dangerously a 92, I think.
No, she did
She
not.
left during Johnny Dangerously.
Yeah, she
right?
left during that. I had to finish that one on my phone. Yeah, it was good. I mean, definitely part of me cringes at a lot of the stuff they did that back then I didn't think anything of, but now being a grown up, I'm like, ooh, that's kind
Yeah,
of
but
fucked up.
you gotta look at it like that was the 80s.
I think if I, honestly, to be fair, if I had not seen this movie before, and this was my first time watching it, I would have fucking hated it.
Really?
I would have
It's
hated
still
it.
funny.
Really?
The funny thing
Yeah,
is,
it's
It is
funny.
But
it's like
I
how you
would've-
were with the Muppets Take Manhattan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
you know
what
would
I
have
mean?
been because I would have been like, oh, why is this funny? They're assaulting women. Like, it's not funny. It's
were
not funny,
asking for it,
but it was
funny.
kind of funny. But whatever, I
The
still liked
panty
it.
raid
I
was
stand by
pretty
my
damn good.
85.
Mr.
Dan.
Dan,
I mean, I saw this in the theater. I was too young. Well, was I too young? No,
you were
probably
like
not.
15 or something like that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I used to get the ticket for like Pete's Dragon or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Going to the-
I just used the Pete's Dragon. I said that the other day. I was like, Pete's Dragon. I stuck
That's
in
a
the
great
Scarface. But I don't know why like Pete's Dragon came out of my mouth.
So yeah, I mean, it was on HBO all the time. I saw it over and over. I could quote it. I think it holds up. It was well cast. The sequels were terrible, but I'd see this one again. But I give it. It doesn't rank as something like Spinal Tap or something like that for me.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going like 84. I think
Nice.
that's what I'd go for.
That's why Repo Man was an 86 for me. It's a little better. But,
Best, great soundtrack.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
The best soundtrack.
This had a good soundtrack too. Though,
Yeah.
surprisingly.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
shocked how good the soundtrack
So what do
was.
we got coming up next?
We are doing The Terminator with Mac on Friday.
Nice.
Okay. And then, Dana, did you pick your movie yet? Or no?
Well, you were going to ask Doug if he could do
Oh,
Red
yeah.
Dawn.
Yeah.
If
Doug wants
not-
to do Red Dawn.
If not, we could do a movie this week. I was saying, do you want to do one maybe Tuesday or Wednesday this week?
Well, Tuesday I think I'm going to the movies. So Wednesday.
What night are you going to the movies?
We're not doing that this week.
All right. So want to
Okay.
do Wednesday?
And
Yeah.
then Friday too with Mac for Terminator? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I just need to make sure. The Knicks are on Monday for sure. I don't know when game 2 is, so it has to work around that.
Oh, okay.
So if they're on Wednesday night, we can do it early enough. I can still
We'll do
watch
it
the
5,
game.
right after
that's
work,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine.
Hold on, I have to get back to ours. Okay, so I thought first I thought Supergirl, but I don't know if it's streaming anywhere. And then I
Oh,
thought
it's got to be on like HBO, right? It's a DC movie.
Oh, maybe.
I would think it is.
or
I mean,
Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop, nice.
That's right. Yeah.
With
I was going to say,
Supergirl's
I
bad.
originally thought Purple Rain, but I was like, oh, that's not fun.
Purple Rain's a great movie.
It is a
though.
good movie, but it's
Supergirl is...
not a good movie.
Huh? It's not good.
It's a great sound. I mean, it's a great.
Yeah.
The
That's a
music's
series.
great.
That's probably
So
why I
Not
long.
a great movie.
That might be like the first R-rated movie I ever saw in the theater. Purple Rain.
Oh, really?
Bruce's mom took us to see that. And I remember afterwards, she's like, "So, how'd you like that?" Oh no, sorry, DC Cab. That's the first R-rated movie I ever saw in the theater. She
Supergirl,
was
you got to
that, too.
rent it. It's on Apple, Amazon, YouTube.
I'm
but
surprised it's
it's
not
not.
HBO.
Oh, wait,
Max.
I think it's on... My thing says it's on Netflix.
That's the seasons. That's a TV
Oh,
show.
that's a TV show. God
Yep.
damn it.
I'm just
What are you
surprised.
doing,
it's-
Rad, Jason?
What year
Is
was
that
Rad? I think that's 88.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just ordered a T-shirt from Rucking Fountain.
Yeah, you were telling
as a
me that.
Rad T-shirt. So I didn't get that one yet. This isn't a Rucking Fountain. Check that.
Were those? They were giving them out. I mean, you had to pay for it.
No, you had to pay for it. Yeah,
All right.
but they sell out quick though. So it's like, but wait, what are we doing now? So we're doing Supergirl, or are we doing?
We
or
can
are we
if-
doing Beverly Hills Cop? Which one do
Yeah.
you want to do Wednesday?
Is Beverly Hills Cop easier, more accessible?
Probably.
Then we can do that.
That one. Let me see if that's streaming. I'll tell you.
I'm going to tell you right now if we can do it or not.
Beverly Hills Cop's on Netflix
Okay.
and Paramount Plus.
Hang on one second.
Netflix has so
We're
many
gonna do it at
1984
5.
movies.
Well, okay, you're right. The Knicks aren't on until 8 o'clock on Wednesday,
we'll be
so that's
done,
fine. Yep.
Okay.
I was going to say, didn't we just discuss the timing?
So
And
we're gonna
that
do
was
Beverly
looking
Hills
up
Cop
anyway.
then? Because it's a
Knicks Pacers, man. Reggie Miller is going to be talking the entire time. That ugly gremlin looking motherfucker, man. God
And you got
damn.
the Rangers.
Yeah, I don't care about
I
that.
know you don't. But
They
New York,
swept, right?
that's all
Didn't they
know.
sweep
swept.
first round?
Yep.
You know where to check us out over there on Spreaker. Download, rate, subscribe, review, do all those fun things. We're the exciting and new podcast on all of our socials. I'm Jazoo74 on Twitter, the Jazoo on Instagram. This has been the exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
Gonzo1 on Twitter, Gonzo1970 on Instagram. I'm Andy.
Dana Caps on TikTok, Dana Caps 77 on Instagram. I'm Dana.
I'm Dan at Dafers on Twitter
Nice.
Nice.
or X.
No one
Yeah, I always
says
forget
X.
to. I said
No?
it sometimes.
It is.
I said it last week. X Twitter, I called it.
I'm
but-
forever going to call it Twitter.
Worst name branding ever, like name change thing.
Yeah.
Made no sense.
Twitter was much better.
All right, so Wednesday.